Alright, welcome back. So we're going to be looking at hacking with PowerShell. It's the first episode. So we are going to be looking mainly at domain enumeration, right? So I have my PowerShell for my Windows machine open here. Alright, this machine is on a domain. Okay. You may notice that it does say administrator up there. I also had a lot of problems with one of the attacks. It was mostly just it's really just how many different permissions I have to give, things like that. So I was like, alright, I'm just going to do it as administrator. Because if you were able to do this attack, you can do it as a local user, as long as they have, a few permissions. But it was becoming to the point where juice wasn't worth a squeeze. So I was like, alright, whatever. But all these attacks, except for, as we start to escalate privileges, things like that, you can do as a regular user. Okay, so the very first thing we're actually going to look at is actually, let's go ahead and just open up PowerShell and see if it actually says administrator or not. No, it doesn't. So there we go. So we're in PowerShell right now, and we're going to go ahead and start to do some domain enumeration. That's going to be the first thing we're going to look at, right? So to do some domain enumeration, we need to upload a couple different tools. We're going to upload, one different tool. The main tool is going to be PowerView. Okay, so TryHackMe does have quite a few different rooms on PowerView. They are good rooms. They teach you a lot of stuff. And this is just going to kind of piggyback off of all of those things. But really it's just because it's going to be the start of our hacking with PowerShell. The whole thing that I'm going to start up here. So first thing we want to do is an Amsi bypass, right? And I will show you why. Now on my local machine I have a Python server running with a whole bunch of tools in it. And PowerView is part of those tools. So if I do an IEX, which is invoke expression, we're going to invoke a web request after that. Okay. Now I'll tell you why we're going to do this one and not a. What's up? Got tag as soon. Can you increase your mic volume here? Actually, let me move it like a little bit closer to my mouse, like real quick. Is that better? Family sleeping like right now. It's late here, like right now. So let me do this like a little number for you. There you go. Is that better? So we'll do a invoke expression, invoke web request, right? Let's see, let me turn up my own volume on my thing. Let's see what we got here. Family sleep like right now. I could probably do a little more with that mic volume. There we go. How's that? Is that a little bit better? So we'll do a invoke web request. Then we'll do HTTP 192.168.0.33. This is my local machine, like I was saying. PowerView.ps1. Alright, and we see that this is malicious content. And call me binary. Alright, binary. Alright, and we see that this is malicious content. Now, when we get this type of error here, or little, hey, you did something bad, this is AMSI. So let's go ahead and do an AMSI bypass. So I already have one on my local machine. You can find them all over the internet, all over everywhere. And I'll throw one on my GitHub page also. But there you go. We'll throw in an AMSI bypass, and we'll do that same exact thing again. Remember, so we're going to invoke a web expression to invoke web request. Now, whenever you guys have seen me download something with PowerShell, I usually utilize wget and attackout file. And that puts it on the actual disk itself. This right here will put it into memory, so it won't be on the disk. It's only going to be within this one PowerShell window. So if I were to go to a different one or close this out, that is now gone. Okay, I have to do another invoke expression, but like I said, it puts it in the memory, which is much more likely to evade antivirus. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that again. And as we can see, it comes through because we did our AMSI bypass. Alright, and let's go ahead and now we can start to run different commands with PowerView. If you're used to PowerShell, you may be used to doing a little boom boom and then PowerView, right, .ps1 or whatever. Remember, this is running in memory. It's already running. So we don't have to do any of that because we are not running it on the actual drive. We're running in memory. So we can just start off with, say, getNet user. Something easy like that, right? What getNet user is going to do is it's going to look at all the different users on a machine, right? So we see John Doe here. If I do a who am I, we can see that I am John Doe. Who am I / priv, right? We see that I am useless to this thing, right? When we start to look through, we can see all this, okay? Now this may see like a lot of stuff. Maybe we're just looking just for the names, right? So let's go ahead and do this again. We'll do a getNet user, and we'll just select CN. Alright, and then there we go. Okay, now we just have the names. Alright, so we can see, yep, there's a Kerberos ticket granting ticket, header, McCatsy, John Doe, Ryan, default account, guest, administrator. Okay, so that is in getting that user. Now we could break this down to what they're a member of. Okay, so select member of, I guess, administrator. We can try something like that. Member of, can we do that? Nope. Select member of, okay. Member of, I guess we should probably do like a CN equals maybe? Could we do something like that? No? Okay. But we can just break it down and just see the different members, things like that. I'm sure there's a way, you know, we can filter it out and everything like that to be able to see everything else. So if you're a PowerShell guru, you can do a lot more than what I can on there. But that's getting that user, very simple command. Okay, just going to show you different users on the machine. And it'll also show you what they fall under. Okay, so this guy right here is a member of administrator, built in, and he's also part of Alice Wonderland Local. We can, from there, we can actually start to break down, like it's probably called alice.wonderland.local or whatever else, right? John Doe, he is useless to this machine, right? Pretty much is what we're seeing here. And there's his email, alice.wonderland.local, so we can start to break that down again. Start to think like what would the main controller be, things like that, which we don't really need to think too hard because we actually put in commands for that too. Alright. So very easy getting that user. Next one we're going to do is get that computer. Alright, we're just going to look at the different computer machines, right? So we have DC01, Win11, and then this long one like right here. That's actually a mess up. That machine is actually this machine like right here. But that one was on the network first. But we have DC01 and Win11, right? That's getting that computer. Easy day again. Get SID, I believe it is. Get net SID. I thought there was a get SID. Was one of them? Maybe not. Alright, I know that there's a get SID somewhere. I forget exactly what it is. But I know that there's something like that. Oh, you know what it might be? Is get domain SID. Alright, so there's another one, okay? So that's my computer's SID. So this domain like right here. That's just another enumeration technique, right? Right now we're just talking about enumerating. Get GPO is a good one. Get group. GPO should be one. Get OU is one. No? Maybe I have to do power view dev for get GPO, but I'm pretty sure get GPO should be one. You know, because I'm saying GPO, that's why. Get domain policy. So let's go ahead and do a get domain policy. And here we can see the domain policies, right? Now if we do a get domain policy, and I think it's period, then we do like Kerberos policy. I think it's something like that, like we put quotation marks around it or whatever. We can say Kerberos policy, then we can see what is the policy for Kerberos. I believe it's like that. If we do like a period, then we did Kerberos policy or something like that. Kerberos policy, and as we can see, there we go. We got the Kerberos policy. So now, if we were to make something like a golden ticket, then we know, okay, cool, our max interpretation should be 600, our max renew age should be 7, ticket validate, client 1, max ticket age 10, and we can look at all this stuff and, you know, start to make that golden ticket or silver ticket look exactly like the other tickets on the machine. Big deal, like right there, especially for real life scenarios. Okay, so get domain policy is one of them. We can also look at domain controllers. So get net domain controller. We can see that the forest is alice.wonderland.local. Cool. Alright. DC01 is the domain controller. So domain controller 01, alice.wonderland.local. Right. So we're starting to enumerate this machine. We have the IP address and everything. We can obviously ping it. Right. Okay. And there we are. Right. So we can start to break down the different parts of this machine just by using PowerShell and just with, you know, just enumerating PowerShell, right? So we can also look at things like logged on users. That might be something you may want to look at because logged on users, you know, can tell you who's logged on at this exact time. And if you watch my PMPT videos, prep for that, you know, we started doing things like, what was it, with SMB, everything. Logged on users might be something that you might want to know. So let's do a get logged on users. Get logged on local. Why can't I do a get logged on users? That's weird. That might be in PowerView Dev. Might have to download or do a invoke web request for PowerView Dev. Or might, let's do a get net logged on. Get net logged on. There we go. So we can see different users that are logged on, things like that, right? Where they logged on, everything. We can also start to enumerate the last time those users logged on, how many bad passwords they put in. We can start to enumerate things like that, and we want to enumerate that stuff because those kind of things tell us, you know, maybe if you think that something's a honeypot or something like that, you want to know, hey, when was the last time that they had, or how many bad passwords they have, and when was the last time the password was actually utilized, right? So we can do different things like get user properties and see that. So for these logged on users, right, we can do a get user property. Right, that's another one. And then we can say get user property, and we'll say last log on. I think it goes like that, doesn't it? Or is it get user property? Is it just last log on like that? There we go. So this shows you right when they last logged on, right? So like this guy right here, he's never been logged on. You know, that's something, if you're in this guy, that's a problem. You know, things like that. These guys, they were logged on today. You know, they were logged on just a few hours ago, you know, some of them. So this one was logged on yesterday. So things like that, right? Let's look at, what was it, password last set. That's another thing we can look at. Password last set. Then we can start to see, okay, how is their password policy? How often do they change their passwords? Things like that. Right, and there's one on here, bad password count. This is another one. So then we can start to look at, hey, you know, if I saw if the administrator had 700 bad password count attempts, then obviously that's most likely something to do with the brute force, right? That's most likely going to be a problem. So that's your get user property. Still, remember, we're just enumerating the network like right now. Okay. We can also do a get user property members of. Okay, like look at like different properties and things like that. So we can do a get user property tag properties member of. All right, and we start to look at things like this. Okay, so we can see that Ryan's a member of administrators. All right, John Doe is freaking useless to the world. Okay, now watch the video at the stream. All the videos that I do will be on YouTube. These ones won't be coming out till like May though. Just so you know, the ones I'm doing like right now, they won't be around till about May, but they do all go on YouTube. Every single one. Even the ones that I mess up at. Alright, so we can see who is part of which, you know, which groups, things like that. We also do a net local group. Maybe we can't. I don't know why, because it's getting that local group. There we go. And that's if this one works. There we go. And it did. Alright. So getting that local group, different accounts names, and the different local groups. We can also just do a net local group. Yeah, in May, so should be like May 9th or something like that. I think I have videos until. I don't know, it's just the next one in line. So they come out every Monday and Wednesday. The videos, they come out every Monday and Wednesday. So we can look at that local group. Now remember, this is just local machine users, like right, or local on this machine. Okay, this is not the domain stuff, like right here. But we do know the domain controller, right? It's DC01. So we can also do like a net. I wonder if we can do local group for this one right here. We may not be able to. That local group, TAC domain. Can we do it for this? I don't think we can. Yeah. But we can do a net user. I believe we can do net user. Get net user TAC domain. Yep. DC01. alice.wonderland.local. It doesn't like that at all, does it? You know, we can actually look at the domain itself. So if we do another getNet domain controller, we can actually look at alice.wonderland.local on DC01. It might just be a getNet user domain, which will be like that. It is, okay. That's good for like when you have like, what is it, multiple domains, different domains, different forests, things like that. Maybe you have trust, maybe you have an alice.wonderland.local, then you just have a wonderland.local, you know. You have a parent and child domain. So you can actually start to break down domains and actually look at them and say, hey, I want to look only in this one domain. Alright. For all the commands that we used so far, you can do things like that also. Get group policy. Is it get group policy? No, get net OU, isn't that one? I believe. I always forget, yeah, get net OU. Get net policy. I know that there's one where you can start to look at group policies also. Like the GPOs, things like that. And yeah, I mean, there's not really too many. I mean, there's a bunch of them. We could read the thing and go through all of them. But we can also do an invoke share finder. Invoke share finder. Alright, I don't think I actually. Oh, and obviously we have the different C drive shares, things like that. Now you can just imagine on a larger network how bad that would actually get, because you see all those different C drives, things like that. And since those are default shares, we usually don't even want to look at those, right? So we can exclude different ones. So we can actually invoke share finder / exclude standard, exclude current, exclude IPC. Now it's probably not going to bring anything back. But we can exclude different ones, and we get net log on sysvol, which we don't even need those two. Alright, hey, you have a good one. Binary. Alright, but as you can see, we see those two like right there, those ones. And yeah, so that's your invoke share finder. If we had other shares up, you know, we could do more with that. I can actually make a share like real quick on DC server if you guys want to. It's up to you guys, but we can see that there would be more shares. Alright, so that would be your invoke share finder. Alright, so I think that's pretty good with enumeration. There's a lot of stuff there. Alright, I know I went through it real quick, but there is a lot of different things that you can enumerate. Alright, and obviously it is the most important thing is enumeration and looking at every single thing. Alright, get that GPO, that was what I was trying to think about. Okay, different domain policies. Alright. And we start to look at things like this. Alright. I don't have any domain policies on here like right now. I don't have anything special going on with domain policies or anything like that, so there'll be nothing in there for that. Alright. I mean, that's... I can't really think of much more. Get object ACL. Alright, all the different ACLs and everything. Now, all these pretty much are just, you know, what was already within whenever you make that domain, okay? Whenever you get the domain controller. So we can try to look up just ACLs for, let's say, John Doe. So we can do a get object ACL, right? And then from there, we would then run a SAM account name for John Doe. John.Doe. I think that's it. Yep. So these are all the ones that apply to John Doe. Okay, so the guy that I'm on right now, right? So this is all the ones that apply to him. His inherited faults. You know, a lot of these are, like I said, just they are already pre-made whenever you do the domain controller. That's what a lot of these already are. So, you know, they're just something like that. All right. We start to look at the identity reference, like cert publishers. You know, let's see here. Data reference, okay, whatever the heck that means. All right. It's supposed to something to do with a SID. But yeah, nothing really too crazy here. Okay, container inherent. All right. So things like that. A lot of things that are made with the domain controller itself. The next thing we can look at is if you have any domain trust, you could always look at domain trust. Alright, and I believe that is get net domain trust. I believe it's just that, like right there, and that's it, or get net forest. So we could run, we don't have any trust on here, but we could do a get net domain trust. And then you can also do a get net forest. Okay. As you can see, we only have one forest on here, so we don't have any trust or anything like that. And we only have our one domain on here. So if you were to run those two though, we could then look at other forests. So look at a different forest. You could also really get that forest, tag forest, and then wonderland.local, and obviously it would be a different forest, so it would be like wonderland.local or anything like that, right? But there we go. Okay, we're not going to see anything different here because we don't have more than one forest on this one right now. Hopefully I will at some point. Okay, so that is going to be it for today with just going through and looking at all the different type of enumeration techniques. Now, if you get lost, right? So let's say we get totally lost, we don't know what to do. Okay, you can actually look at what does that PowerShell have for you, right? Well, what can you do with that PowerShell? So let's go ahead and let me get you guys to window capture, right? Yep. Okay. And let's go ahead and actually look at one of them. So let's go ahead, we'll go into Tools, and we're in PowerView, right? And we will open that with Notepad++. Alright, so here we are. I'm trying to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay. So obviously it's function new in memory module. Okay, yep. But we can start to come through here and find different things. Different functions that you may feel like, ooh, like I want to try that, or I want to try that, okay? Another place to look, obviously, is the best place to look, and that's going to be PowerView. Alright. And there's also a lot of stuff on here on PowerView, like tips and tricks, things like that. So you get domain user with credentials. So use alternate credentials for any function. Get domain group member. Alright, we try that. Tag. Let's try some of this. Domain admins. Okay. We'll try that one like right there. It said no. It said negative. Alright. I guess it doesn't like get domain. Get domain group member. That might actually be for PowerView dev. But this one's also for, that one was also for PowerView 3.0. So that might be something I might want to look into. But you can see we have a whole bunch of different things. This one has like Invoke Kerberos, so that's obviously get domain group member is most likely to be PowerView dev. So let's find out. Let's see if it is. We're gonna see if that's PowerView dev or not. So let's go ahead. PowerView dev is just another version of PowerView. Let's go back to our Invoke expression, Invoke web request, right? Just pressing up like right now. There we go. We're gonna do PowerView _ dev. And there we are. And let's try to put that in there now. And as you can see now it worked. Okay, so we have it like right here. Alright, so we have domain admins, the member name administrator. Alright, so it looks like administrator is the only one that's domain admins. Let's try domain users, I guess. See if we have any. We don't, because I didn't make any. I don't know if we can do domain star. If we can do something like that. No, we cannot. What about domain admins? Okay, maybe we can do stars, I don't know. Alright. We'll try domain admin. So yep, looks like we can use stars with it also. Domain add, yep, we can. Okay, cool. So we can also use stars too. Okay, you just gotta kind of give it a little bit. You can't say domain, I guess. What about domain just star? Nope. So Alright, cool. If we get rid of that star, does it still do the same thing? Nope, it doesn't. Okay, so the stars are doing something. Alright, awesome. And also at the end of each command, you can also do a verbose too. Just like you can with Kali Linux, you can also do verbose with it. So that's just one more thing, you guys can do. So there's that one's on PowerView dev. Get domain OU, okay, get domain user. Alright, PowerView 3.0 cheat sheets. Okay, get domain SID. There's one. Alright, get domain controller, we already talked about that one. Domain policy, we did that one. Get domain computer, trust and do authenticate. These guys like right here. This is for constrained and unconstrained delegation. Okay. I don't have constrained or unconstrained delegation, just so you know. I think I just do unconstrained, right? So I do have unconstrained, but it's going to be domain controller, which domain controller is always going to be unconstrained delegation. But I don't think I have any constrained delegation anywhere. Can we do constrained? I forget how to do that part. But get domain computer. But yeah, I don't think I have constrained delegation anywhere. I may set that up. We shall find out, okay? But there's unconstrained, trust to authenticate. Alright. Getting that local group, computer names. We already did things like that. Get forest domain. We haven't really looked at that one. We don't really have a forest though. But we could look at it. Get forest domain. Alright. There's our domain. Now you can see we start getting some problems in here too. I've had problems like that and still stuff comes out and it's correct at the bottom down there. So don't freak out if you're having, if you're seeing red. What's this one? Get who is logged into the local remote machine through enumeration of remote registry keys. Okay. Getting that RDP session. That's another one we want to look at is who can RDP into a machine, like remote desktop into a machine. Alright, that's a good one, like right there. We could test admin access, see if this guy's an admin or not. Okay, that's a big one, like right there. Test admin access. Okay, for localhost, it is false. Error access is denied, so he is not an admin. Alright, and we can continue on and I don't know what I'm looking at here. There we go. Find local admin access. We'll be using this one later on. Alright, we're not going to be using this one right now. We'll be using that one probably tomorrow. We're going to do this again. Find domain local group member. There's another one that we can utilize. Alright, we can see that we get the local group members back and everything. Easy day, right? And there we go. Okay. So that was a bunch of different enumeration with just PowerShell. No Kali Linux, no hacking with Kali Linux, no mPacket, nothing. Just using straight up PowerShell, using PowerView, and also using just some of the built-in tools within PowerShell, like NetUser, NetLocalGroup, things like that. So we are just using what PowerShell has for us, right? And really all PowerView is doing is it's calling for different things, but it's using PowerShell commands still. So if we actually look at this and how it's working and everything like that, it's calling for different stuff. It's just we don't have to type in all of this crap now, and remember all that. We just have to remember that domain group, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Magic Sect. Thank you very much. Alright, so we just have to do that for PowerView. And that is going to be it for enumeration. Alright. What's up, Chabby Noob? How you doing? So now that we're done with enumeration,